definitely. Susan, welcome again.
Thank you.
Susan, you have an international relation and cooperation with other associations and societies. What was the most important conclusions of this international relation this year and last year?
Well, I mean, just to tell you a little bit just more about how FWA works. First of all, we really do believe in forming alliances with other groups. So let's say in the U.S. we have alliances with other women's groups. One of them is also an international group, TIAW, and we have another one who focuses on board work as well. So that is very important, since for us to put our support towards those initiatives or those relationships on an international level, and also open up opportunities for our own members to be involved in that. On the international level, the FWA for the past 30 years has been hosting delegations of women to go and visit different countries. So we were one of the first delegations to visit China when it first opened up its doors, a group of women, which is pretty surprising. And then last year, in fact, we were in Dubai and we were visiting. And so many times on these trips, what we're doing is that we're meeting with high-level business people, we're meeting with heads of state or government, and trying to get a better sense of just what's happening economically, since finance, of course, is global.
Yeah.
And then what we're also trying to do is to get a better sense of what's happening with women in these different regions too, so that way we can learn from each other. Much like I discussed about this dialogue that we had, with this group of fellows, this is what we're doing too when we're going around to these countries. And, I mean, and it's interesting for us to be able to see, what's happening, in these different areas in terms of women's advancement, and what we can learn from them. And it's important. I think it's important to learn from different countries. Different countries have different systems. So let's say, in some countries, you could, women may be out in society, and the United States is very well known for not, providing as much benefits, let's say, for women stay at home, when you first have children. Other societies are much more generous, their governments. And, and it's important to learn about those different systems, and for us to be sharing, what we do, so that they can learn, we can all learn from each other.
Yeah, are you having this idea to fight for that in the United States, for women to have benefits when they raise a child at all?
Well,
it's possible to happen here in the U.S.?
Well, I mean, I think, we have lots of different benefits and lots of different laws on the books. I'm an attorney. And so we have, all different laws on the books, in terms of family leave. There's certain pregnancy legislation that's out, but there's lots of different laws on the books that that we have embraced, and we've come a long way as a society. I do think that the issue of work-life balance it does present a challenge for women, because the fact that you need that level of support. While you're trying to climb up the ladder, obviously you need that support too, from home, and making sure that your family is good. There's been a whole big dialogue regarding, can women have it all, this past year, and that really is the substance of it. In many ways, it's about, can you have family? Can you work at the same time in a high-powered position? And being able to manage it. I mean, and it's very subjective, For some women, they're able to go out in the workforce and they feel comfortable about their kids growing up with a nanny, or having them in daycare. And for some other people, it's a personal choice. They don't feel as comfortable. So again, it comes back to a subjective factor. Just what I feel comfortable with is very different from what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Susan, as a lawyer and as a president of the FWA, what is the most important regulation you are waiting to see in Washington, D.C. for women?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think an important regulation I'm seeing. I think what we're all waiting for is for for a woman to be president of the United States. I mean, I think that's what we're all waiting for and what we all like to see. And the front page of the New York Times today, talked about the fact how there are more women and in government. In fact, that was one of my initiatives this past year. It was all about advancing and celebrating and engaging women in the public and political realm, and how we as business women can also, wear that hat in order to make an impact in our government. And I think that it's very important, that we all, remember that. Christine Lagarde, for example, you know, she's an attorney, you know, and she moved into, you know, and of course she got plucked for that area, and it's not unusual, you know, for women in finance or women in law to be plucked into these areas, but we need to be open to that. We need to be ready for that too. And so in my, you know, in my work in the securities world, or even in my work with my company with Bates Group, there's lots of different things that, you know, we have to be thinking about, you know, in terms of moving the needle ahead.
Susan Harper, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you.